What's up, everybody? Thrift Barringer here on the road with Sportsvisions. Sportsvision 92.1 FM, along with Richard Holdridge, while DJ Jones is in New Orleans with the NFLPA Trust, a brain and body assessment that he had previously scheduled. He entrusted us to be able to be here and cover Auburn, Alabama, and all the rest of the SEC during the 2025 SEC Media Days. This is my third one because of Sportsvisions, and again, I always love this. It kind of kicks off the season. Big Rich, day number 2. We'll get in specifically to the teams in just a moment, but overall, what was your thought?
Yeah, it's just been a great day 2, just going around and seeing all the different media outlets. It's starting to get a little bit more crowded now because we've got the local teams in this area that are making appearances, and it's just great to just run into different members of the media and just embracing just a full day of SEC Media Days.
No doubt about it, man, and I think it's awesome being able to see all the local media here and also being able to see Josh Pate and a bunch of great people. Pavan, who's a part of the Sportsvision 92.1 FM lineup. He literally was live while we were doing our hits, and again, you can listen to him, Dan Patrick, Colin Cowherd, and of course, get your morning started 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Sportsvision 92.1 FM. Download the app. That's how you can listen to the #1 sports talk radio show around the Chattahoochee Valley area, in Southeast Georgia and West Central Alabama. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Like us, subscribe, and be a part of Sportsvision Nation. It's been a ton of fun here. Arch Manning giving us a bomb. We love that, man.
Yeah.
Every second of it. But here, Richard, tell me right now, big thoughts, big picture when talking about all the teams here at the SEC from Tennessee, Texas, Auburn, and Georgia. Sorry, Arch got me a little off kilter, man. That's pretty cool seeing him walk by like that.
Yeah, first of all, he's got a great head on his shoulders. He just took the podium a couple of minutes ago, and I was very impressed, not only with Auburn and Georgia. Earlier in this morning, we had Tennessee and Texas in the afternoon. And you want to talk about some of the top teams that have expectations to make it to the college football playoff.
How about Josh Heupel bombing you and Jonathan and Drew Pavan?
Oh, that was awesome.
We had that too. So we just got bombed by Arch Manning and then Josh Heupel. That's what happens at SEC Media Days. Again, Apple and Spotify, you can hear all the shows. They're on Apple and Spotify, commercial free on there as well. And we've had a lot of fun here in day number 2. I guess we'll start in the morning, kind of recap what we talked earlier today in Auburn and Georgia. Hugh Freeze, he's running out of excuses. He needs to be in contention when November comes around. Jackson Arnold, that guy is walking on with a lot of confidence, Richard.
Yeah.
I like what I'm seeing from Jackson Arnold, and it gives Auburn, a quarterback with that type of talent, that type of confidence, a chance to be a contender in the SEC. Plus, the amount of talent surrounding him, no more excuses for Hugh Freeze.
We'll see what type of team this Auburn Tigers team is. They got a tough schedule early at Baylor, at Oklahoma, at Texas A&M. Yeah, they get Georgia and Alabama at home, and they might be able to win maybe 1 or even 2 of those games because we know how tough the Auburn Tigers are at home. But can they get a road win? And I know Baylor's a non-conference game, but Baylor under Dave Aranda is good, and I know Auburn is going to be tested week 1.
Yeah, they 100% are, man. And Baylor is a tough one because, listen, looking in the Big 12, Dave Aranda, Baylor returns a lot from a team that won 8 games last year. So
Absolutely.
I think that is going to be a very tough game for the Auburn
Friday
Tigers.
night as well.
Now, for Georgia, me and Tony Reese will talk about it because we have Tony Reese coming on. I was able to interview him. Also, Jonathan Hoppe, former WTVM sports director, now in Birmingham. You talked to Drew Pavan. It was basically a WTVM takeover here today from SC Media Days on Sportsvisions on the road. But we talked about the offseason issues that Kirby Smart's had to deal with over the last couple of seasons. But I think people are really sleeping on Gunnar Stockton. This guy's a leader. This guy's uber talented. He knows how to facilitate at high-level offense, and I expect big things from Gunnar Stockton. So does Kirby Smart.
Yeah, the Georgia Bulldogs, they open up against Marshall. They should be 2-0 going into Tennessee. I think that is not going to be an easy game for Georgia because the Tennessee Vols playing in Neyland Stadium, we know how big of a home field advantage it is. Then they get a bye, and then they play Alabama. All those tough games on the road last year at Bama, at Texas, at Ole Miss, well, they get all those games at home. But I think that there are some teams on the schedule that could give them fits. In Florida with DJ Lagway, I think that is a wild card. That's a game to watch out for because DJ Lagway was 6-1 as a starter for the Gators. But I think that Kirby Smart in his 10th year, I can't believe it's been 10 years that Kirby Smart has been the head coach. And the expectations for Georgia fans is to compete for the national championship. And they came so close last year in the Cotton Bowl and in the Sugar Bowl against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And they feel like they left a lot on the table. That was a game that they felt they were the better team and they should have won.
And a lot of the reason they lost that game was the drops by the receivers, and they enhanced the depth at the receiving core. And this may be the most talented receiving core Georgia's had in quite some time. Alabama tomorrow. We'll ask those questions after we have our interviews for Tennessee and Texas. Let's go Tennessee first. Josh Heupel. The guy has won 11 games, 9 games, and 10 games, respectively. He's made the playoff last year. He has built a winner at Tennessee after they went 15 years of just being an atrocious program after firing Philip Fulmer. I like what I'm seeing from Josh Heupel. Obviously, the big question is you trying to replace Nico. I think a guy like, just like with Lincoln Riley, Josh Heupel, I think with guys like them, they make the quarterback positions successful by the strengths of the quarterback that's playing it at the time. Meaning, Josh Heupel knows no matter who's there, how to put them in a position to be successful. They don't have to have a 5-star. I think Josh Heupel can develop a quarterback. He's done it. He's proven it.
Yeah.
How about Hendon Hooker? Are you kidding me?
Joe Milton.
Yeah, Milton. And then, of course, what we just saw from Nico. Why can he not do it again this year? They got Joey Aguilar, who is coming from Appalachian State. Maybe not near as talented as Nico, but I still think anytime I got Josh Heupel at the helm, the quarterback position is going to be fine.
I think Joey Aguilar is going to be set up for success because under Josh Heupel's system, we've seen quarterbacks flourish. It's a high-powered, up-tempo offense. The key is that game against Syracuse and the Aflac kickoff right here in Atlanta, and we're going to see what type of Tennessee team is going to take the field this year. They do have some tough games. Obviously, having to face Georgia and Alabama, but this team made the college football playoff last year. And I know a lot of talk was, well, it's because they had 2 losses. They had to put a 2-loss SEC team in the college football playoff, and Ohio State ended up beating them. But they still a lot of talent coming back, and I know that Tennessee fans got their feelings hurt that Nico left. Now he's at UCLA, but I don't think it matters. I think that whoever's the quarterback, I think that they're going to flourish in Josh Heupel's system.
I think that's a great point. He's a quarterback whisperer. They say that for a lot of coaches, but I firmly believe it with Josh Heupel. And then Texas. I want to ask this question. I wasn't able to. It's inspiring to see what Steve Sarkisian has done, overcoming everything he had to overcome early in his career. All those trials and tribulations did not define him, and now becoming one of the best college football coaches in America. I don't know many guys that can do that, especially everything that he had to go through in his tenure at at USC, how he was able to overcome that and become now, I think, one of the top minds in all of college football. I commend him for it. I really am a big fan of his, and I love the way he articulates himself. He's obviously got the biggest name in college football player-wise in Arch Manning. You just saw him bomb us right there.
Yeah,
Paul Feinbaum said he's the best quarterback since Tim Tebow. I'm not ready to go on that limb because there's been Johnny Manziel, Cam Newton, Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray. We've had a bunch of great quarterbacks over the last 10 to 15 years. I don't know if Paul remember that or not, but Arch has the capability to do that, but you're already seeing that height. It's starting to surround for a guy that is not played a lot of football games in the SEC yet. So, but again, going back to that quarterback whisper, Steve Sarkisian, just like Josh Heupel, this guy's had so many fantastic quarterbacks under his tutelage. I don't expect anything different from Arch.
And I love the question that WTVM sports director Tony Reese said in the beginning during the Sark press conference, talked about Justice Terry, the defensive tackle from Manchester, if he's going to have an impact this season for the Longhorns. I think that Longhorns defense is going to continue being one of the top defenses in the SEC. We know what Texas is capable of. They have got the weapons. And they were so close to getting to the national championship. I think that they were a play away from beating Ohio State. Well, they get to play Ohio State, big noon kickoff. It's going to be in Columbus, week 1. I know that Sark is not thinking about revenge. He just wants to get out there, and I think that they have the quarterback to get it done. Arch Manning is one of the top quarterbacks in college football, and I think that Texas is going to be one of the top teams in the SEC playing in Atlanta.
I think they're the favorite coming in.
They
this
have to
year.
be the favorite.
And
yeah.
we had two of the top favorites in Georgia and Texas, but I'm with you. I think Texas, top to bottom, may have the best roster in the SEC. They may have the best coaching staff. He talked about continuity. He's got the same offense and defensive coordinator for the last 5 years. I think Texas, I'm with you. I like the storylines, and they got a bunch of hype heading into this year, and maybe this is the year they finally can say, Texas is back, folks.
Well, if
Joe
we're gonna,
Tessacor can finally lay that to the bed.
if we're going to mention Texas on here, we got to shout out our broadcasting colleague, WRBL's Rex Castillo, because he's a Texas
And he
fan.
said Texas
Yeah.
is not back
Not
until
back
they win
until they win it.
a national championship.
You got to win a national championship in order to be back. But
We're on the road with Sportsvisions here. Sportsvisions 92.1 FM. Tennessee, Texas, Georgia, and Auburn have already went. Yesterday was Ole Miss, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, and LSU. Tomorrow, Alabama, Oklahoma, Mississippi State, and Florida. I knew I was going to make one. Florida all going tomorrow. And then on the last day, we got Missouri, Kentucky, Arkansas, and Texas A&M. We will not be here Thursday. We'll be back in studio with DJ. But we've had fun in day number 2. Don't go anywhere. When you come back, we got Drew Pavan and Richard Holdridge. And then I'll have an opportunity to speak with Jonathan Hoppe, former WTVM sports director, and the new sports director of WTVM. He's not new. He's been there a year, but you get what I'm saying. Tony Reese, all a part of On the Road with Sportsvisions at SEC Media Days 2025. Be right back after this.
Hello, everybody. This is DJ Jones with the Sportsvisions Morning Show for the best in local, regional, and national sports news. Weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
You can find the Sportsvisions Morning Show on Facebook, YouTube. Also, you can listen to us on Apple and Spotify by typing in the Sportsvisions Morning Show, and download the Sportsvisions radio app right now in your app store today.
Sportsvision 92.1. We are your hometown sports guys.
Welcome back. It's On the Road with Sportsvisions live from the 2025 SEC Media Days here in downtown Atlanta at the Omni. And I am with WTVM sports anchor, Drew Pavan.
Mm-hmm.
Drew, this is not your first SEC Media Days, but it is your first with WTVM. Just tell us how your experience has been so far.
It's been great. Day one, getting to hear from Georgia and Auburn, two new teams that I've been happy to cover. It's been great. A little back-to-back action. It was 4 or 5 hours of nonstop content.
Right.
But it was great to hear from both coaches. And I just got to say, God, I miss some football. That's for sure.
Exactly. We are excited. And I think that just the atmosphere has been great, and really just networking with a lot of TV stations that are from around the area. From Birmingham, you're seeing some of your old colleagues. I mean, what's that experience been like, just seeing everybody again?
Oh, it's great. This is, what it's all about, because you don't get to see a lot of these people during the summer months, and you get a lot of the college football. You see them constantly, maybe 2-3 times a week. So these are some of my best friends, and getting the experience to hang out with them and understand and kind of base off the storylines of what SEC Kickoff Media Days is all about. It's great, and I enjoy every second of it, and it's great you guys are here too.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are stepping up. I love it. It's been awesome.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you guys as well. Let's start with Auburn, because Hugh Freeze, he's coming into this year, back-to-back losing seasons. There's a lot of pressure on Auburn to at least win 9 games, 10 games, and be in consideration for the college football playoff. When you look at Jackson Arnold, as he is now the starting quarterback, and Auburn's got all that talent, what is it going to take for Auburn to close out games and to get to that level where Auburn fans are used to seeing them?
Yeah, Richard, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Jackson Arnold stepping into this, they bring him in from Oklahoma, and I think Hugh Freeze kind of has his guy. I mentioned it a lot this morning. He just seems so much more confident in this offense, and they brought in 2 tackles for that offensive line, which was another big problem outside of the quarterback position. But Auburn just seems a lot more focused and confident about going into this year. And it's good to see, because they do need to win. And, if he does go 2-3 in those first 5 games, because 3 of those 5 are not easy ones. You got to go to A&M, you got to go to OU, you got to go to Baylor to start the year. So really got to get ahead of the curve, especially on doing things like that. And that's going to be the big jump for him, and trying to figure out what he can do with Jackson Arnold, especially as his quarterback now. Can he run that RPO fluently to get everything pushing forward?
All right, and now let's talk Georgia. Kirby Smart, I can't believe he's entering his 10th year as
Yeah.
the Georgia head coach. He's the fifth fastest coach to 100 wins. And I know Georgia fans have been spoiled. I remember the Mark Richt years, 10 wins. It was a great season. I mean, but now Georgia's expecting to win national championships because they got the taste of it, back-to-back years, and they were the last SEC team to win a national championship. They've missed out on the college football playoff 2 years ago, losing to Alabama, and then coming up so close in the Sugar Bowl against Notre Dame. What do they have to do this year? Because I think the schedule is a little bit more favorable for Georgia because the tough road games last year, Alabama, Texas, and Ole Miss, they're all at home this year. But there are some games on the schedule that could be tripped up. That trip to Knoxville against Tennessee. Right now, Josh Heupel's speaking at the podium. And then Florida. DJ Lagway is a wild card. So what do you think that Georgia's expectations are this year?
Well, they get those home games, and that's a big one. Texas, you get at home. Alabama, you get at home. Ole Miss, you get at home. So those are those comeback games. You mentioned Tennessee. Without Nico there, a little bit more of questions about what the Vols can do offensively, especially that early in the season. It's a little bit of a weird game because you play Tennessee, get that bye week, and then you get home for Alabama. So I think that's really going to be the test for Gunnar Stockton.
Right.
Because the first game we ever saw him start was the Sugar Bowl against Notre Dame, and Notre Dame had a pulverizing defense. Clearly, we saw it. They went all the way to the national championship with it. So now we kind of get to see Gunnar settle into the quarterback position. And from everything we've heard today, and I've heard over the spring at practice with him, he's settled in well. And he's been a great leader. And we heard him talk. He's not much of a talker, but he's very composed. And I love that in a quarterback because you want someone who's a little bit gritty, not looking at social media. But I'm excited to see what the Dogs have in store this year. They lost a lot of players, but they bring in some talent. They have some returning talent. I think they can make a run, and they're going to be contenders for the SEC.
All right, tomorrow, Kalen DeBoer takes the podium. Alabama, which last year going 9-4. This year, it seems like if they don't make it to the college football playoff, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Kalen DeBoer. I don't think he's on the hot seat, but what's the expectations for Alabama this year in Kalen DeBoer's second year?
Personally, I don't believe if he doesn't make the playoff, he's on the hot seat.
No, not at all.
Alabama fans and that
Some
community
do.
and that fan base, you best believe he's on the hot seat. A lot of people are going to be asking what is going on, and that's going to be the big question: is what can the Crimson Tide do? We're going to hear from Tim Keenan, Caleb Proctor, Deontay Lawson. So we're going to get to hear kind of what they've been doing over the spring, and they returned a lot this past year.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
That's exactly what's going on. And Josh Heupel walking.
Yeah,
that's a big
Coach
game this year,
Heupel. Yeah,
Alabama versus Tennessee.
absolutely. Took the podium.
There you go, Coach. There you go. You love to see it because that's a big
Josh,
game this
Coach
year. That's
Heupel.
going to be not at Neyland Stadium. That's going to be in Tuscaloosa at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Alabama versus Tennessee. Alabama's got a favorable schedule at home again. They don't have to go to LSU. They don't have to go to Tennessee. They get to be home. They do have to go to Athens. That's a tough one. They do
Very
have to
tough
go to
game.
Jordan-Hare. Another tough game. So Alabama's really going to have to find themselves, and I think that really starts with Ty Simpson. I think people are sleeping on the defense they have because they have almost everybody returning except Jahad Campbell, but Ty Simpson's really going to be the rower of the boat that makes this thing go.
All right, Drew, we got to get you out of here because you're doing a hit for WTVM. But before you go, tell everybody how they could follow you on social media and how they could watch you on WTVM Channel 9 in Columbus.
Absolutely. You can tune in every weekend. I'll be giving your sports sometimes throughout the weeks, Mondays as well. Socials are Drew Pavan TV on Facebook and X. You catch me there all the time.
All right, that is WTVM sports anchor Drew Pavan. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we got more On the Road with Sportsvisions here live from SEC Media Days here in downtown Atlanta.
Hello, everybody. This is DJ Jones with the Sportsvisions Morning Show for the best in local, regional, and national sports news. Weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
You can find the Sportsvisions Morning Show on Facebook, YouTube. Also, you can listen to us on Apple and Spotify by typing in the Sportsvisions Morning Show and download the Sportsvisions radio app right now in your app store today.
Sportsvision 92.1. We are your hometown sports guys.
What's up, everybody? Thrift, Barringer, Sportsvisions on the road, SEC Media Days, and I'm with my good friend, former WTVM Sports Director, now with Fox 6 out of Birmingham. It is Jonathan Hoppe. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Good to be here.
I mean, it's good, so good to see you, dude. First things first, let's get into personal things. How's life in Birmingham been? I can't believe it's already been a year since you've been back in Columbus.
Yeah, that's right, man. It's been just about a year. You know, around this time was when we found out, I found out that I had a new opportunity, something I wanted to explore. it was tough leaving Columbus. So
Yeah.
many great memories, great people like yourself.
Yeah.
I've been down to visit a couple of times, so not too far away.
Right.
But it's been great, just kind of getting that next opportunity, and I've enjoyed watching Tony and Drew do their thing as well. So things change, right? But we keep trucking, and certainly look back on those 4 years really fondly.
Yeah, and it helped you grow as a broadcaster. That's the biggest thing. It was a
And
stepping
a person,
stone.
probably more.
point.
And that's, you're right. And that's the most obvious side. But when you start somewhere out of college and you're young and you go through some things, you just grow as a person. And I probably remember that. I will forever remember that more,
Right.
even than broadcaster, but certainly that as well.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Now your SEC media days. How many have you been to?
This is 5.
This is number 5.
Yeah,
Holy
so big
smokes,
round
man.
5, yeah.
So how does it feel going from the first one you've been to now this one here in 2025? You feel like you're more experienced? Like overall, like how do you feel about SEC media?
Yeah, it's kind of overwhelming, right? When you start, it's just a lot of moving parts, a lot of people walking around, a lot of people wearing credentials, and you're here with the job to do, and you want to do it well.
Right.
So try to get the lay of the land. But once you've been to a couple, it's kind of all the same. The only thing that changes
Right.
is the layout and the storylines.
Yeah, exactly.
Always great seeing people like yourself that maybe I won't see on a daily basis.
Right.
So it means that we're getting closer to football, and that's never a bad thing.
Absolutely not. It's basically kicking off the season every single year. Auburn and Georgia, those are the two today we were able to see. We'll start with Auburn first. Hugh Freeze, I know the storyline is he plays too much golf. The upcoming recruiting class sucks, but no one cares about 5 years down the road. We're talking about right now. What's your biggest question with Hugh Freeze and Auburn?
Yeah, I mean, can Jackson Arnold deliver the goods? I mean, that's the question mark, because we've seen Hugh Freeze sort of put his chips in the middle of the table. He knows that this is a big year for him.
Right.
They didn't make a bowl game last year. Now he's saying today, hey, we might be in the discussion for the college football playoff.
Right.
That's a big swing.
Big
no matter
swing.
12-team format,
Right.
whatever it is, they've got a long way to go. But it sounds like he thinks Jackson Arnold can get them there. And he recognized wasn't the most productive last season, but
Right.
he says injuries, offensive line, receivers, that kind of thing hurt him.
Right.
So now if he's as good of a fit in his system as he says he is, this could be an 8+ win team. And ultimately, I think that's what the fan base is craving. So that, to me, is by far the biggest, most obvious storyline.
The biggest thing I've been pushing the narrative is be in the conversation when November comes around. Auburn has not been in an
He's
opportunity.
somewhat relevant.
Yes.
Last time was, with Brian Harsin, I believe, in 2021. And obviously that kind of blew up. But
In their
that
face.
season with Bo Nix, and they
Yeah.
had that win at LSU, and
Ole Miss,
It-
it was
it-
6-2
it
against
fell
A&M.
off, but they
right?
were relevant. Wasn't as late as you'd like in the season, but that's the last time.
Right.
So it's been a minute.
Yeah, and that's what Auburn fans are craving. They are restless, they are tired, and they're ill, and they want to see a team that's going to be a contender. On the flip side with Georgia, I mean, I don't really feel like I have any question marks anytime Kirby Smart's the coach. So I don't go in looking like, what about this position? I mean, I guess receivers need to be something they can improve with all the drops last year. But in your opinion, what's the biggest question with the Bulldogs coming in?
Well, it just feels a little bit different. It doesn't feel like they have as many huge names. Our guy Micah Williams is gone. Doesn't feel like there's as many of him as there maybe was
In the
a couple
past.
of years ago.
Right.
And then go back to the quarterback, another question mark at UGA with Gunnar Stockton. People aren't really sure, can he do it?
Right.
Is he going to be enough? Because as we saw last year in that Sugar Bowl, it wasn't enough.
Right.
Certainly not all on him, but I think this is probably the most doubt we've had on a Georgia football team in a long time.
Yeah.
And that's how Kirby likes it.
Yes.
So much uncertainty at the top of the SEC, in my opinion, with the usual suspects that are favorites.
Right.
And I think Georgia's right up there. And they've got to go to Auburn this year.
Mhm.
That will be a tough one. They get Alabama at home. That's nice after they almost came back and beat them, but did lose last year. So to me, there's a lot of question marks with Georgia, but that probably means they'll lose one game and make it to at least the semifinals.
Yeah, and dominate and watch
Yeah.
Gunnar Stockton ends up putting up a Heisman-worthy season. That's how it usually goes when you start
Yeah.
questioning Kirby Smart and anyone in this program. Finally, Alabama. They're tomorrow, but what are your biggest question marks in regards to Kalen DeBoer and the Crimson Tide?
Well, it's funny. You mentioned Hugh Freeze and some of those negative storylines that we're hearing about recruiting and whatever he's doing in his personal time, whatever. Well, Alabama's complete 180. Hype, recruiting. It's hard to even keep up with how good their recruiting has been. So with the house settlement stuff, does that balance out at all, or can they actually keep up that pace? So I do believe things look good for Alabama. But if you remember ahead of the first season with Kalen DeBoer, it was kind of that same feeling last year. Like, man, this could not have been a better start before they got to the season. And the season wasn't terrible, but obviously it wasn't great. And kind of ended on a sour note in that bowl game down at Tampa. But I feel pretty good about Alabama. But similar to Georgia, you have questions. Who is Ty Simpson at quarterback? And I think that's the one thing that maybe Auburn – there's obviously questions there with Jackson Arnold, but he at least it feels like maybe there would be less. But I guess in all likelihood, they're all kind of just toss-ups. But with Alabama, Ty Simpson seems to look the part, and similar to Arnold, seems to be a better fit in the system than the quarterback they had last year, even though Milroe is a more talented player with a higher ceiling.
Yeah, I'm hearing the same thing, man. I'm hearing a lot of hype surrounding Ty Simpson, but we know quarterbacks with hype coming into the season don't always flourish, so we're hoping that could happen with Alabama. Hop, I appreciate it as always for the time, man. How can everybody follow you on social media, dude?
Yeah, get me JAHOP23 on Twitter, and catch me on Facebook as well. Just search my name, but follow Sportsvisions. Keep it rolling, baby. And Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
There we go, baby. Jonathan Hoppe, appreciate it, man. We'll take a break. We'll see you next time. All right.
Hello, everybody. This is DJ Jones with the Sportsvisions Morning Show for the best in local, regional, and national sports news. Weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
You can find the Sportsvisions Morning Show on Facebook, YouTube. Also, you can listen to us on Apple and Spotify by typing in the Sportsvisions Morning Show, and download the Sportsvisions radio app right now in your app store today.
Sportsvision 92.1. We are your hometown sports guys.
You knew I was going to get him. It's a WTVM takeover from Drew Pavan, Jonathan Hoppe. Now I got the sports director of WTVM, Tony Reese. Tony, how you enjoying SC Media Days, baby?
Thrift, it's a pleasure, man. First and foremost, Sportsvision, appreciate y'all. DJ, Richard, all y'all here together. Thrift, man, it's a pleasure. First and foremost, man, SEC Media Day, this third one in the books for me. Y'all know this is an exciting time.
Yeah.
Brother. You go from Tennessee, Nashville, then you go to Dallas last year. Now we're here in Atlanta. It's always perfect time. It's talking season, man. Let's talk about it. We got Auburn, Georgia, and Alabama, three teams we know all too well. Man, it's an exciting time to see. Just saw that man, Arch Manning, walk through here. Talent's everywhere.
Right.
I'm excited to just develop it all in.
Hugh Freeze, what was your biggest questions and takeaways from him today?
Hey, man, on paper, that team should win just about every game on their schedule. They have the best offense, allegedly. They have the best line they've had since he's got there.
Right.
Defense is in the trenches. He's winning the portal. This is the second year in a row he's grabbed in the top 10 draft class. It's win or lose, but you talk about that 5-7 first year, 6-7 last year. You got to go up from here, right? The ceiling has to be pretty high. So I'm expecting big things out of him. We talk about our guy, Central standout, Cam Coleman. I'm expecting big things out of him again. We talk about he's competing with guys like Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith of the world. You heard it here. I'm saying it first. That guy's going to be up there. So we got a lot of talent. Next year, we're probably going to see him going to the draft. Who knows? But hey, a lot of good things in store for the Auburn Tigers.
On the Road with Sportsvisions is live with Tony Reese here at the Omni Hotel 2025 SEC Media Days. And Tony, let's go ahead to Georgia. Now, I'm going to bring up something that me and you've talked about that we wish we would have gotten brought up to Kirby Smart, which is how the off seasons in the past couple of years have really kind of derailed the hype surrounding the Georgia program because of off the field issues. What's your mindset with Georgia and how to collect that, and what's your biggest questions with Kirby Smart?
Third, I think we talked about it. I wish I would have had the opportunity to ask Kirby ourselves, but just going into, man, how can the Dogs stay out of trouble? We talk about them being the standard for so long. We know they're at the mecca of being the top team, not only in the SEC, but the entire college football world. But you talk about all the outside factors. You know, just as things are going up, something strikes. You had the Kobe Young incident a couple years ago. You have before that all the other incidents then. And it seems like every year, whether it be some type of driving involved incident, there's always something going on with Georgia. You got to wonder what Kirby's message is to his guys. I know the players seem like they're locking in. You get the special players. We've had guys like Michael Williams come through their program, not having any of the issues that some players have had. So you're questioning exactly what's the motive right there in Athens, and then going forward, how can they stop that going forward? So we talk about, man, there's a lot of success coming in. I think definitely Kirby has the knowledge about his guys. He talks about, you know, there's They're young men. Let's talk about it. We all make mistakes.
Right.
We're all going to do some dumb things.
Right.
Talk about they're not the only program. You have Bama going through their things. You have Auburn just having a couple of arrests as well. Kids going to mess up. But how can you balance from that and bounce back from that? And I think there's definitely going to be a test to see if they can go a complete season without getting in trouble.
Now, Alabama, Kalen DeBoer. Listen, obviously they were the storyline the first 6 weeks of the season. Then you had Vanderbilt, then you had Oklahoma, and then you had Tennessee happen, and you got left out of the playoffs. I keep saying Kalen DeBoer, does he know how to win in the SEC? Not collect talent, because he's doing that. He's got a great recruiting class. Can he win here? Does he know how to do that on a continue, like sustaining success? Do you believe at a consistent basis he can?
So if we got to talk about it, he did one thing first year that most coaches don't even get to sniff, and that's beat Kirby Smart at home.
Right.
That was a crazy game. Even witnessed that firsthand. Ryan Williams.
You were there live, man.
That man there, that play still is etched in my brain at this point, man. So you talk about just solidity. He definitely can win the tough games. That was one of the arguments, the biggest test. That was game 3, I believe.
Right.
You talk about just the success they had. They did come up one game short from actually making it. Had they won one of those back-end games, that's always one of the questions. Would you rather lose early on or would you rather lose in the back end? Most teams would rather lose early on so they can bounce back and beat the high competition towards the back end and make sure they're in the CFP or anything between. So you talk about that. I think there's a lot of success for Bama. You know, this year, many people are expecting Ty Simpson to be the starter. You talk about moving on from Jalen Milroe.
Yeah.
Guy had a lot of more speed with his legs than he did actually throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Now you talk about a guy who's a pocket passer, who's going to actually sit back there and get throw the long ball. There's a lot of questions going into. Hopefully, Caleb will be able to answer. Now, he didn't bring Ty Simpson in, which also leaves room to believe they recruited a heavy quarterback coming in and kill out Russell. Curious to see what he does in this next one around. And who knows, man? I think Ty's the guy, but hopefully the boy will answer this question come tomorrow.
Alabama starting off day 3. Tony, how do people find you tonight on social media? It's WTVM, baby.
Y'all already know, man. Tony Reese TV at Twitter, Tony Reese WTVM over on Facebook, man. Be sure to tune in, WTVM all together. Myself and Sportsvisions Drew Pavan will be here through today and tomorrow to bring you all the latest and greatest on Alabama, Georgia, Auburn. Don't forget to tap in with our guys here at Sportsvisions. Know they doing that thing. Shout out DJ back home, man. Yeah. Wish you were here. Look forward to talk to you soon, brother.
Yeah, man. On the road with Sportsvisions. Tony Reese will be right back after this. Appreciate it, bro. Easy. Peace.
Everybody, this is DJ Jones with the Sportsvisions Morning Show for the best in local, regional, and national sports news. Weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
You can find the Sportsvisions Morning Show on Facebook, YouTube. Also, you can listen to us on Apple and Spotify by typing in the Sportsvisions Morning Show and download the Sportsvisions radio app right now in your app store today.
Sportsvision 92.1. We are your hometown sports guys.
Man, we had a lot of fun. WTVM takeover here.
Yeah,
SEC
here we
Media
go.
Days here in the Omni Hotel, College Football Hall of Fame. Thrift, Barringer, Richard Holdridge. We're going to kind of wrap it up here. Day number 2, we had a ton of fun. Glad we got to hear from all the different personalities. Thank you again to Mike G, Jack Patterson, Drew Pavan, Jonathan Hoppe, and Tony Reese for being part of On the Road with Sportsvisions. You can listen to the best of tomorrow, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Sportsvision 92.1 FM. You also can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can listen to us podcast commercial free on Apple and Spotify. Richard, all right, final thoughts, kind of wrap up. What were your overall takeaways? If we've kind of nailed it into the ground, it seems like, Rich. But again, any other final thoughts you want before we wrap up?
I was impressed with the teams that took the podium today. I got a chance to hear some of the players. By the way, I was very impressed. One of the players was wearing a tie that had the ages and the names of the victims from the floods in Texas.
That's
awesome,
awesome,
just
man.
the thoughts and prayers go to the families.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that was very awesome for him to do something like that. And I know that Coach Sarkisian also spoke of it. That's basically his player's character. I mean, we saw Arch Manning. Obviously, we had also Tennessee players this afternoon. And it really, I got a sense that these teams that came out today, especially with Tennessee and Texas being college football playoff contenders, they feel that they have the teams to compete for an SEC title and make the college football playoff. Georgia as well, and I know that Auburn, it would be great, but right now, Hugh Freeze is there's a lot of pressure right now to at least get 8 or 9 wins. But what a great day. Day 2 almost in the books, and then we get ready for day 3 tomorrow.
Exactly right. And again, Arch Manning was the big superstar that was here. There's walking the halls that everybody wanted to be able to see. Obviously carries himself with such grace, and
He really does.
Very humble young man that's going to have a bright future at the University of Texas. Love seeing all four of these teams. Love hearing the Rocky Top from Josh Heupel. We got bombed by him. We got bombed by Arch Manning, and just overall great day on the road with Sports Vision. Thank you again to DJ Jones, who's in New Orleans. That's right, he's not here. He's in New Orleans with the Trust Brain and Body Assessment for former players for the NFLPA at Tulane University. He'll be back in studio with us on Thursday on Sports Visions 92.1 FM. Follow, like, subscribe, and download that Sports Visions radio app. Tomorrow we got Alabama. I keep telling you, big questions for them. Can Kalen DeBoer win in a consistent basis in the SEC at the level he needs to be a contender to maybe win a national title? Obviously, the hype surrounding the recruiting class is very high.
Absolutely.
But it's about winning now. The schedule's tough. We got a new quarterback, but everybody's saying they really like the confidence they're hearing out of Tuscaloosa and Alabama. So we can't wait to see them
Cannot wait.
bright and early tomorrow morning. Thank y'all so much for watching On the Road with Sports Vision. We'll see you tomorrow here from SEC Media Days live from Omni Hotel and College Football Hall of Fame.